Welcome to FearList, the show where I watch every single movie in a horror franchise and tier rank it from best to worst, because I can. I was trying to think of something clever, but that's what I came up with. My name's Isaiah, and my license plate says Gay Fever, or Gay Forever. Depends on who you ask. In previous iterations of this video, I was a lot more professional with the way that I spoke. This is going to be more laid back because I'm not putting in more effort. So we're just gonna kind of chill, and we're going to review some movies and talk about some movies, and things are going to be real fun. Today, we are looking at the monster franchise that shook the mid-2000s. Jeepers Creepers. Real quick, we're just gonna do a little sesh, a little powwow, if you will. It is not lost on me why some people would not want to watch this video. It is not lost on me why a lot of people don't make content based around the Jeepers Creepers franchise. I am fully aware of the heinous actions of the director. No, I don't really want to go in to talk about all of the things, but I do want to just say that I think being aware of what this person has done is the lowest form of accountability that we can give someone. So I'm giving that opportunity to people who may not know. As far as separating the art from the artist, I still am struggling with that. Something as nostalgic as the Jeepers Creepers franchise for me, specifically Jeepers Creepers 2, was such an influential film in my childhood. I know how dumb that sounds because we're just kind of talking about horror movies, but horror movies have kind of shaped my entire personality, kind of made me the man who I am. As terrifying as that does sound, I just want to make it fully aware that by making this video, am I in no way celebrating him. But I do want to celebrate the other people who made this movie happen, and there's a lot to like in that. I do struggle because there are parts of this movie that are directed very well. Parts of the first two. But I think that we can still have this conversation, and I can still talk about this franchise without fully endorsing this person's work or celebrating what they did, or hopefully by no means disrespecting anyone who has been affected negatively by his actions. With that being said, this franchise fell off harder than you can imagine. The first few films are such a strong entry into a brand new monster franchise. And when it is done successfully, you can see the benefits. Well, look at the Universal movie monsters. Like, that was a huge part of movies being made, is Universal movie monsters. So to be able to have that in a brand new, very fascinating, very interesting story, and then what you did in the last two entries of the franchise is just kind of a bummer. Now, obviously, before we get into the first film, I would like to introduce to you to the FearList. I don't know if I said too many twos, but if I did, I apologize. I'm a little stupid. At the top of the list, we have our final girl entry. This is the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Nobody's beating this. Next, we have Scream Queen. Most of the time you die, but at least you're iconic for it. So that's pretty rad. Next, we have Solid Slash, just kind of in the middle. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just there. After that, we have Cheesy. Sometimes, if a movie is so bad it's good, it might go into this category, but who knows. And then finally, our F tier, or D tier, I guess, is our direct dud, which just, no bueno, nobody wants it. It's a Redbox movie, it's a Tubi movie, you know what I mean, and a bad Tubi movie. Is Jeepers Creepers a franchise worth remembering, or should we wait another 23 springs before we bring it up again? Let's find out. The first film begins with Derry and Trish, two siblings driving back home from college break. And hey, look, the two are passing the time by playing a good old game of license plates.
Yay, gay fever! No, gay forever!
When out of nowhere, they're jump scared by a crazed truck driver. After the truck passes, Trish remembers this horrific story that she used to be told back in high school, where a couple went missing around that area. Pretty spooky ghost story. Derry obviously seeing right through it. I mean, the guy doesn't want a ghost story. The guy wants to play a good old game of license plates.
That was the license plate on the van we just saw. Beating you. That's mine.
You're going to find out very quick that that's not what that means. Later on, they stumble across an abandoned church, parked there being the same truck from earlier. While driving past, they see a man dump a sheeted object down a rusty pipe, but they get spotted. The two get chased down yet again, but this time they get ran off the road. Derry is played by Justin Long, my all-time man crush. Don't worry, Matthew. He'll never know about us. Justin Long is a scream queen at this point, and this is just one film that it didn't start at all, but was this the first horror film he's ever in? I'm making the video. This sounds like something I should have probably looked up. Derry decides that it would be worth going back and checking out the rusty pipe. To his sister's dismay, they drive back to the church to have a look, but Derry bites off a little more than he could chew as he falls down the pipe, leaving his sister all up there alone. Determined to find a way out, Derry continues to look through the abyss that he had fallen into, while he instructs his sister to go and watch out for if the truck driver comes back.
Just had to say that right.
Derry ventures deeper into the abyss and discovers a shocking display of mummified corpses all stitched together. And holy shit, yeah, no, that is the couple that Trish was talking about earlier. Ghost stories be real. When Trish is keeping a lookout, okay, this is just one of the other portions of what I was talking about earlier, is that this shot is really good, and it's hard to appreciate that, but I do. Like, my horror film nerd brain just really likes this shot. You have Trish sitting at the entry of the church. In the distance, you can see headlights coming this way, but Trish doesn't see it yet. It's this incredibly tense atmosphere and there's no music. It's all completely silent, and it only starts ramping up until Trish actually sees the truck. And when she gets back into the car, you get this tense scene of her trying to start the car. The car's a piece of shit. The gear and the transmission always making that weird noise. And then obviously the truck passes. It's just a normal truck. But then you get jump scared by Derry, who has this really just like this. The acting in this movie is so good. Like these two really give a realistic depiction of what siblings are, like college siblings would be. I need to wet my whistle real quick, Samuel. Also, isn't it a little weird that Derry said that they haven't seen cars in a very long time, and then like in the span of a few minutes we've seen 3 cars? They must be getting close to danger. Civilization. Penis. The two get to a small diner where they call the police, but they get a mysterious phone call instead of a woman who claims that she knows what's happening to Derry, what happened to Derry, and what's going to happen to Derry. Derry, obviously not really in the mood to hear this, decides to just hang up the phone. It would have been worth hearing her out, though. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can really realistically beat this thing. Also, the diner on the outside looks super desolate and nobody's there. But when they walk in, it's like hopping. Where the fuck did all those people come from? The two end up talking to the police, although they're a little bit skeptical about what Derry had seen. Obviously, he saw the Sistine Chapel on the walls, made of human bodies and body parts all mummified. As they're discussing this to the police, there's a commotion outside, and we see that the same man has been digging around into Derry's undies in the back seat of the car.
And now he even knows my name.
Derry, still not convincing the police officers, decide to escort them back to the church. Derry and Trish talking about how physically impossible it would have been for the truck to drive back to the church and back to the diner that quickly. Anyway, some tension is relieved and they start listening to the radio. Trish flicking through the different radio stations, but as she does that, she stumbles upon the song Jeepers Creepers that Derry heard over the phone with the crazy lady, the mysterious crazy lady. Derry is spooked. He's trying to explain to his sister. While this is all happening, the creeper has landed on the police car and has taken both of them out. He's even lobbed the rent-a-cop's head over like Kobe. This is it. This is another really good scene. There's a lot of desolate roads in this franchise, and you know what? I dig it because coming from the Midwest, there's a lot of those desolate roads around here. During this time, we get a very awesome scene where we discover that the Creeper is not a man. He is a cannibalistic creature from hell, I would assume. Not an expert on hell, but I would assume that's where the sumbitch comes from. Then we get a very iconic scene where the Creeper, the fuck is he doing? The fuck is that? The Creeper gets some tongue from the cop and then collects all the body parts, throws them in his truck, all while whistling. Gary and Trish run away. They get to a crazy cat lady place. This is another place that the mysterious phone call lady asked Derry while they were at the diner if they've been to the cat place yet. She's a psychic. They get to a police station at the end, and this is kind of the climax of the film. There's a huge showdown at the police station. This is where we see the mysterious woman on the phone. She explains to Derry that once it gets a scent, it'll never stop. Unfortunately, Derry finds that out much later. She explains that every 23 years, for 23 days, this creature comes to life or wakes up and then gets to eat throughout that time frame. Cool, interesting concept. I fucking love it. This is awesome. There's no way they're gonna mess this up. Alas, the Creeper gets a hold of Derry, flies off with him, and now Derry can't see too well. Jeepers Creepers 1 is a fantastic monster movie. Practical effects still hold up. The Creeper's design, really, really interesting and cool. The CGI, not so much, but it picks up elsewhere where CGI is lacking. It kind of gives you this feeling when you're watching a monster movie for the first time, especially if you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. There's a lot of times where you get this feeling that's kind of like reminiscent of like seeing a bug for the first time. You see like a millipede before, and you're like, that is not of this earth. Burn that in hell. Here's the thing that I do want to explain is that these films are only being rated based on the other films involved in the franchise. I'm not rating these based on how they make me feel as opposed to Hereditary, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm just voting them based on the franchise that they're in. Jeepers Creepers is obviously in the final girl status. A absolutely awesome, fantastic horror monster movie. Knocks it out of the park. CGI kind of sucks, but that's okay. The practical effects look pretty good. I think I said practical events. Jesus, I need to go back to sleep. Jeepers Creepers 2 is a sequel that I watched way more than the first movie. It is a movie that I feel like I relate to a lot more when it comes to this franchise. I was obsessed with this movie. I think that a lot of love and interesting things happened in this movie to make it what it is. I am honestly shocked at the score and like the general consensus of this movie because it's not that bad. I've seen bad and it's not that bad. And in my autistic brain, I can categorize horror movies that are bad, but I like them, and then horror movies that are just good that other people think are bad. In my Hills Have Eyes video, I talked about how in the mid-2000s, we were so soured on these remakes and we didn't like anything, and our horror fans were just not impressed by anything, really. But now, when we're looking back on it, the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie was not rated. It wasn't like a popular movie during that time. No one talked about it the way that they talk about it now. The same thing for The Hills Have Eyes. Maybe The Hills Have Eyes was like a little more successful because Wes Craven is like a much bigger thing, in my opinion, to like the general audience because of Scream. Yeah, so when we're looking back on these movies and we're realizing that they weren't that bad, they were just kind of meh for the time. And now, like, I've rewatched it so many times, and there's not a part that I dislike. Trust me, I want to absolutely hate this franchise. I was writing this script fully willing to admit that I was wrong about Jeepers Creepers 2 and that it really is fucking stupid. But I like it. I hate that I like it, but I do. Jeepers Creepers 2 follows just days after the original movie, and it is actually on the final day of the Creepers 23-day cycle. It is about a school bus that is full of high school students that get stranded out on a desolate road. The desolate road makes a return, and then creeper ensues. Before I get too far into this film specifically, I do want to mention something. There's a large possibility that I'm just not really going to want to talk about movies that I don't like. Yes, I am covering every single horror movie in the franchise, but it doesn't mean I have to sit here and give you 16 minutes of each film. So if you're watching this video and you're seeing that the little ticker thing is a little more ahead than usual and we're just on the second film, that's your indication that the other two fucking movies suck asshole. But we're gonna get into this one because it's not that bad. Also, quick note, I had this on DVD, and Jeepers Creepers 2 had a really, really cool DVD menu with the creeper wing, and then he would pop out sometimes. I really miss DVD menus. I wish they would come back. I did make a video about DVD menus a long time ago. Can't tell you what happened to it. The film starts off with a B plot, I think. I don't know. Is this the A plot or the B plot? The majority of this plot, there's not a lot of this plot. They do merge, though. Ray Weiss's character, I'm just going to call him Ray Weiss because I think he's just better known as that at all times. His son is putting up scarecrows on the farm that they live at. We get some really interesting, creepy little jump scare things with the creeper posing as one of the scarecrows. It's the DVD cover. It's the theatrical poster, I'm pretty sure. There was a couple of posters. I think there was a DVD poster and then a theatrical poster. I had this one. And real good, real effective, scary shit right here. I'm not gonna lie. There was a time where I was just a little lad and I would get scared just looking at stuff. I'd just look at it like, oh my God. At like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd wake up. Then I just look at it. Gotta face your fears. Yeah, I'm still fucked up. So the son gets kidnapped by the creeper, and that is we get this really sad moment where his older brother and his dad are, just standing there looking sad. Ray Weiss does a really good sad face. Real good sad face guy. Also, this film has really gold moments. Don't know how else to explain it to you, but I think that explains everything. I think you're looking at it right now. Shit's pretty gold. We then cut to a school bus full of annoying and middle-of-the-road characters. There's a few characters that I enjoy, except for the bus driver. The bus driver's fucking cool.
Shit.
These are the kids from whatever school it is. Phantoms. They were singing that in the movie, and I remember that, but I think that's all I remember. Go Phantoms! You remember? You want to know what my school cheer was?
Look, yeah. Look, yeah.
Go Caribou!
Looks like we got us a buck. No, wait, it's $1.50.
The bus tire explodes, and when all the chaperones get off to check what happened, they find this crazy-ass, homemade-ass shuriken. When you turn it over, there's a big old tooth in the middle. Yeah, fuck that. What the hell? Even though the tire's blown, they still manage to drive a little bit. And at this time, we get Minxie, a character who I'm guessing is the main character. She gives a really good performance as this character's psychic character. She has these really intricate dreams where she sees Derry. He got no eyeballs. Minxie wakes up from her nightmare after she watches the creeper in her dreams throw another one of his weird homemade ninja blades at the tire of the bus. When she wakes up, she realizes that actually happened. This time, the bus is completely immobile. They cannot move it. Unfortunately, this time, old GP Creepy ain't playing. And he starts picking off the chaperones one by one, leaving just the annoying kids on the school bus all alone.
What'd you see? What'd you see? Come on! Did you see something or not? She flew away.
This premise to me, when I was a kid, was so impactful. This is a setup for just a scary time. I love it. I love the setting. I love the set. You can clearly tell that the movie is filmed on a set, on a soundstage, but the detail of it is so good. The road looks really good. they got like a really interesting, like, it's not just flatland, it's flatland on the other side, on the off cam side, but on the hard cam side, it's like a hill and there's trees and stuff. It's an interesting environment. Again, that doesn't happen a lot in horror, and sometimes people just do it the worst way. I like some of the characters, but there's this problem in mid-2000s horror where if you were a bully, you could only be two things: a racist or a homophobe. I don't know why. You could sprinkle in a little fat phobia in there too if you really wanted to.
Maybe I got the wrong skin color to get equal play on this team.
Like, I understand that this was a diverse time, but like, I don't know, you could be a little more original than that. I don't know. Also, they're on the same football team, so like, I don't know why. Y'all want to win the championship, don't you? I think they do. I think they won. They won the title. We get this scene where the creeper is sniffing everybody out because he's attracted to scent, right? He's sniffing out the fear. And he's marking them, you know, because that's what he'd do. It's not like fully explained who gets what. There's like a weird scene where he's like upside down, probably the scariest scene in the movie, where he's like sniffing people out, and the kids are like, "What? Me, him, me? You talking to me?" And he like shushes them out of the way. But I think that's him like marking all of them, you know, because like when he gets to the back of the line, he does do a little smirk. And he's got way more personality in this movie, where the first two kind of relied on Derry and Trish as the main protagonists of the movie. In this movie, Jeepers Creepers is the main character. That's so much better in my opinion. We get some really, really fun shenanigans in the bus, debates on whether to leave, more homophobia, unfortunately. We get this really cool scene where we see that the creeper, if he gets injured, he then has to obtain that piece of flesh from some other person to regrow it. He ends up regrowing his head. It doesn't make sense. It's a monster movie. Eventually, the kids get off the bus. They get in contact with Ray Wise's character, who is on the way to come and find them. He, at this point, doesn't really care about saving the kids. I think he just wants to kill the creeper because of his son. I don't think he has any interest in saving the kids. So he is close, but the kids are far away, and they are getting chased by the creeper, and they're outside of the school bus. So they start running through a field. As they're running through a field, we get, obviously, people getting picked off, getting, you know, whatever. We get the main kind of racist, homophobe guy gets snatched up like a little bitch. So cool. Cool. Some of the kids find Ray Wise's truck, and they all kind of get together. We get like this massive fight between the creeper and Ray Wise using this DIY cannon gun thing. We get a little bit of lore because in the beginning of the movie, when the kid is being kidnapped by the creeper, he does drop like a knife, and the knife has like ancient carvings on it. So he thinks that this is probably the best way to kill the creeper, and he like makes this big metal rod with that attached to it. So that's what he's shooting at the creeper. Fight then continues down the road, and we get this pretty epic scene. This is like a memorable scene in my opinion because it just reminds me of Jaws. It's very adventurous. We're moving from different locations. It's just super interesting. The creeper gets injured from like this cool car accident thing. That's a weird thing to explain, but I'm not going to do it. And then we get a final showdown between Ray Wise and the creeper. The creeper's injured. He just gets stabbed a bunch of times. It's really funny. I was telling my mom the other day that watching this movie, I remember hearing the term overkill for the first time because that's what Ray Wise does to the creeper. Funny thing is, he doesn't die. The time cycle runs out, so he goes into his extreme hibernation, and we have to wait another 23 years. Ray Wise, thinking the exact same thing, keeps him, pins him up on a wall, and waits for him like he's waiting for GTA 6 to come out. In conclusion, this movie is way cooler than it should have been. The characters kind of suck, and there's racism and homophobia. But if you can kind of get past all of that and kind of just want to have a real fun and adventurous time, that sounds awful. You shouldn't have to get past that. I'm just saying. If you could ignore that because it was a stupid time and there were stupid decisions, if you can ignore that, then Jeepers Creepers 2 is a good time. Jeepers Creepers 2. Listen, now when it comes to me, I know that I think I personally love Jeepers Creepers 2 better than Jeepers Creepers 1. However, I can understand that many people probably like the first one more. So I'm going to go with the consensus, and I'm going to put Jeepers Creepers 2 at Scream Queen. Because I think that it is more positive than just a normal, solid horror movie. I think it's better than that. But at the same time, I do recognize the first movie being a tier above the first one. I have an issue with this film. Jeepers Creepers 3 is a very interesting tale. Because I remember being extremely excited for this movie coming out. I think this movie came out in 2016, 2017, something around there. It's not a good movie. And let me just tell you, not by the standards of Jeepers Creepers films is it a good movie. Not by the fucking MPAA is it a good movie. It's a movie, I think. It really feels like this movie was created to showcase we can do a lot more with this IP type of situation. It was a portfolio piece for the hopes of maybe creating another trilogy, I can only assume. But usually in those types of movies, you get a little bit of a hook. You get a little bit of ooh, that's tasty. I want another bite, Uncle David. This movie doesn't do shit. It explores lore that we didn't need and ignores? It explores lore that we didn't ask for, bars, and then ignores lore that we really needed. All right, I've been doing it too much. Listen, I have notes for this. I don't remember a single thing about the story. And I watched this 5 hours ago. This movie takes place between the first and second movie. It actually takes place directly after Derry gets taken away by the creeper. So it starts at the police station. That part's kind of cool because it does trick us a little bit, because the first couple of minutes of the movie is kind of interesting. We get some interesting things that happen. We get an interesting new character, and then nothing happens. Let me explain. We get a lore dump for how cool the creeper's truck is. There's booby traps. There's like high futuristic stuff. It's like if John Kramer, I don't know why I said it that weird. If John Kramer was a bat from hell, that's what this movie would be about. And I'm really trying hard to find out where they were going to take this, because it sounds so stupid. So the truck is magical or some shit. And in the beginning of the film, we get this early time, several years prior. This is the 23-day cycle, 23 years prior, where a piece of the creeper's hand gets chopped off. And whoever has the fucking hand, I don't care. These characters suck. Whoever has the hand buries the hand, and then 23 years we rediscover it. It is a MacGuffin that's not paid off. So that's bad storytelling. Anyway, we also find out that there's a freaking task force that is specifically created to find this creature. So, one, it's already been known. Two, this task force sucks. If a couple of nobody kids from college managed to find this guy's murder dungeon before they did, okay, and they were from the area, it sounds like. I'll talk about the scene that really pisses me off the most. There's a scene in this where this old lady who has, I'm guessing she's the grandma, because I did not pay attention to the characters. There's a scene where the lady holds this creeper hand that has been buried for several years, 23 to be exact. And then her eyes like glaze over, and it looks like she's being shown information about what this creature is. So if you touch his hand, you get the knowledge of him? Is he like Rogue from X-Men? And then the worst part about this is that she gets shown all of this information and we don't get any of it. We get shown that she gets shown this information and that's it. This would be a perfect example for a movie to explain a successful 2-movie franchise. And they don't. They make a flat, lifeless, nothing burger. I think that it looks really cool. There are some really cool shots in the movie. The problem of it is that just makes me more sad because all of these effects, we could have had a really good Jeepers Creepers movie. The lighting's all weird. Most of the movie takes place during the day too. And like, there are moments in horror movies where that can be really effective. The juxtaposition between the horror that's happening and the beautiful day that's occurring. The problem is that nothing of seriousness happens. There's no crazy kills. There's nothing of that sort. There's just kind of like the majority of what happens in this movie is what the fucking truck does. The truck kills people. And I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. And it's never explained and it's stupid. And we get this cameo at the end that's Trish from the original movie. She was apparently supposed to make a comeback, but yeah, no, this movie fucking sucked so bad that they completely had to reboot the franchise because it was that bad. All right, Jeepers Creepers 3. Okay. Man, am I gonna have 2 direct-to-dud videos on this in this video? Jeepers Creepers 3 is awful. It adds nothing of substance. It teases the shit out of you and doesn't resolve it at all. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a new trilogy, and obviously they fucked that up. I'm going to put Jeepers Creepers 3 in cheesy. Now, this is the rare occasion where I don't like the film, and the cheesy means bad. And in all honesty, I would have put this into direct-to-dud if it wasn't for Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Reborn, next on the docket. I was really excited for Reborn. I was really hoping that they were going to do a Friday the 13th, 2009 spin on Jeepers Creepers, making him more of like this survivalist, like he's got to trap things to survive, and he's more like the animal that he was in the beginning, but he has more of like human features. I was excited for that. I was like, okay, this is a new spin. I'm okay with that. I'm not upset with that. I'm totally willing to give it a chance. And that was when everything went wrong. The movie follows a group of people. Again, I watched this a long time ago, so this is all memory. This is all that's ever gonna be, because I'm never gonna rewatch that movie.
I've never seen anything like this.
Each one handmade, creeper style.
They go to this horror festival in Louisiana, and there's like this creeper-themed escape room. I think there's like a cult subplot. The film looks really bad. It looks really bad. The kills are terrible. This is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the film because there's nothing to talk about. Like, I'm not talking about what happens because it's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. The film looks like it was shot entirely on a green screen. And let me just tell you, like I said this before, making movies are hard. I get that. I totally understand that. But I think the reason that people get into this situation is that they are biting off more than they can chew. They are thinking that they have to have this gargantuan budget to make something like Jeepers Creepers work, when in reality, you can make it for less than what the first movie was. You can completely get rid of the CGI bat wings, and you can make him more of like this animalistic creature that's a man, and that would be that would be interesting. You can make him a survivalist, you can make him all this stuff. But no, they just waste our time. They waste the time, and it's just an aggressively bad movie. I like a good cheesy horror movie. I like a good horror movie that doesn't look pristine. I like scuffed effects. I like VHS style movies. I love all of that, because if you take that aspect away from film, which is like It's fantastic, by the way. Like, I love good-looking movies. But I think that there is this expectation of getting, like, perfect shot, perfect composure, perfect. And it's not a bad thing to hold yourself accountable when you're making a project like that. But if you're making a horror movie and the people are there for specific things, and a kill and a death is something that is incredibly important to a horror movie. You can fuck up every other thing in a horror movie, but you can't fuck up a kill. There are some stupid kills in this movie. They're not memorable at all. The only one I can really remember is the creeper's kill, the death of the creeper, because it looks like garbage. Also, the design of the creeper, the guy looks like Frank Mir in a 13 Ghost cosplay. Shit sucks. I was gonna do Jeepers Creepers 3 for direct to dud, but there's some redeeming things that I like about it. I like the visuals. The visuals look nice. I think the creeper's design in 3 looks pretty fine. Like, I like to be able to see him in like an HD capacity. He looks really cool. They spend a lot of time working on that makeup, so I really would like to see it. And 2 wasn't too bad with the makeup. It showed a lot more of the creeper, which I liked, and like I said, that was kind of what carries the film. But in 3, it's like they took the worst of the worst. Like, we don't really get that much creeper. We get Truck. And Truck isn't an interesting character.
How do you like those peepers, bitch?
Jeepers Creepers Reborn is a piece of dog shit. This is going into direct to dud, which means I unfortunately have the task of trying to come up with a better movie. Shouldn't be that hard. It adds absolutely nothing. If anything, it completely takes away from the entire story. They tried really hard. The creeper design is fine. No kills are good. There's no kills in this movie that are good. And I know I just explained all of this, but I wanted to explain more because fuck this movie.
So I'm going to set an alarm. I'm doing this right off the top of my head. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to do anything. So I'm going to set an alarm for 90 seconds. That's my calculator. I'm going to set an alarm for 90 seconds and live on while I'm recording this, I am going to attempt to give a way better version of Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And you guys in the comments are going to tell me if you think it's going to be better or not. I really hope so, or that's going to really destroy my ego. I'm hoping that anything is better. 90 seconds. Ready, set, go. I'm not even going to look because I just don't want to be distracted. I'm wasting time already. If you're going to do the full reboot, which is what I'm going to do, then you need an interesting place. I understand that the escape room was an interesting place, but I think if you take a little bit more, make it a car graveyard, make it a chop shop, and the creeper's truck is a tow truck. So you get some interesting characters, 2 or 3 characters whose car gets stranded. They get towed to this big old mansion, abandoned mansion in the middle of the Midwest, and that becomes your scene where the creeper is this survivalist weirdo who has these shrines, human shrines from the first movie, and then uses specific things in the mansion. The mansion is a really cool thing. I don't know. And I don't know what kind of lore you can give to him. Maybe he is an actual demon. Maybe he is a normal guy. Maybe, I don't know. You could just like legitimately anything. I just think that, I don't know, a cool chop shop would be a really cool, I think it would be a really cool place. I don't know. It's just interesting. I still have 10 seconds. Maybe 90 seconds was a little bit too much. Is that better? I didn't really go into specifics, but is it better? Let me know. I don't know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here is your fear list for the Jeepers Creepers franchise. Jeepers Creepers 1 scoring a total of 5 points. Jeepers Creepers 2 scoring a total of 4 points. Jeepers Creepers 3 scoring a total of 2 points. And Jeepers Creepers Reborn 1 point.
All right. That means that the Jeepers Creepers franchise scores a total of 12 points out of 20, meaning that the Jeepers Creepers fear score is a whopping 60%. Thank you for watching FearList. Thank you for subscribing to Terrorcide. Listen, I know this is weird and new. You know, I'm trying to upload some different content, and hopefully this is something that is interesting to you guys. Hopefully, I'm going to put out a double feature, which is the other new show that I talked about doing, and I don't know which one I want to do. I might put up a poll on the YouTube and on the YouTube. What am I, 50 years old? I might put up a poll and see what double feature is more enticing to my current audience. So watch out for that. Thank you for watching FearList. My name's Isaiah, and please subscribe. Please like this video. Please share it with your friends. Isaiah, running Terrorcide. You better be terrified. Oh my God. Okay, I'm done.